Kids, you like political commentary Halloween? There you go. Halloween Kills. Yeah, it's kind of the message Halloween, if you will. The special message for Michael Myers. Michael Myers just Halloween Kills. My thoughts quickly on the whole Halloween series as a whole. I like 1, 2, fine. I've actually never loved the Halloween series, but I like Halloween fine. First two are decent. Season of the Witch is a good, different movie. It is just a cool, different movie. And the 4 through 6 one's the Cult of Thorns stuff. It's whatever. It's cheesy, but whatever. H2O is actually pretty decent, and I think Resurrection is not as bad as people give it credit for. Was never really into the Rob Zombie ones, and the recent one was actually pretty good. So this one, let me get the stuff I like out of the way real quick here. I overall do like the movie. It actually opens with a character I didn't think we'd see come back, the douche boyfriend. But it actually opens with a flashback to the night of Halloween, and they do something in that scene where I'm like, well, that's impressive. But it actually flashes back to the capturing of Michael Myers. And there's some flashbacks here and there throughout the movie, and I think that's handled pretty well. The kills, oh man, they are not shy with the kills. Seriously. They have no problem goring it up in this. I actually have to check what the budget. I know it's probably not large, the budget, but I have to check what the budget is on this. But seriously, and the creep factor. Michael's very intimidating in this movie. he's oof. The kill count is also very high as well. That's shot nice. The acting's all fine from everyone. Particularly Judy. Honestly, Judy Greer, I think, is actually the unsung acting hero of this movie. She's really good. Jamie Lee Curtis is good too. Everyone's fine. Michael definitely gets the kills. He might have the largest kill count of any of the Halloween movies in this movie. In fact, the kill count in this movie, honestly, I think dwarfs a bunch of the movies put together. I'd actually have to really count how many people he kills in this film. He's got genuine moments of being creepy, and very much intimidating. And they give us a little bit more psychology of Michael, just a little bit. And just remember, this Michael is only in continuity with the last movie and the first movie. So this is the Michael we're following. Now, that said, I get what they were going for with this whole, we kind of become the monsters, the mob mentality kind of thing. But for me, I'm and I get it, in today's day and age, poignant much? But I don't know. For me, I'm because of the type of movie they're setting out to be, everyone is now gunning to kill Michael Myers. Great. It kind of makes me pissed off how incompetent a lot of these people are. And I think because all the tropes you get normally in these Halloween movies where people, separate from the group, people go out on their own, people are, taking matters in their own hands, I can take Michael Myers on. All that, that works in movies where where people, a whole town gunning for Michael Myers isn't the plot. The problem is that is the plot. And because that's the plot, it makes every one of those tropes significantly dumber and harder to watch as it unfolds in the movie. You're watching this film and you're like, how can these people be this freaking incompetent? This makes no logical sense that people would, don't get me wrong, people are, as Kay from Men in Black put it, a person is smart. People are dumb, panicky animals, and you know it. After a while, it just gets repetitive and what the actual hell? Come on. Get your head out of your ass. Yeah, just killing him is revenge enough. You don't, oh my God. And the people are just making choices in this film that you're okay, from a personal perspective, I get it. But from you just want the revenge, kill him perspective, and that it's all done, the evil's done, you guys are idiots. And I'll say this too, there's a lot of deaths, and they're all, a lot of them are gruesome, pretty gruesome. Some of them are actually very basic, some people just get stabbed, but some get really messed up. There's a death though in this film that is part of the message about, you know, how mob mentality isn't good, and how taking the, you know, justice into your own hands doesn't usually work. And when it happened, you do feel kind of sorry for this person. You don't know if this person's really bad or good or just a victim. You get the impression they're just a victim. But when it happens, because you can see it coming too. The way the scene leading up to the character's death is set up, you can legitimately see how it's going, and you feel bad for this person. So there's that. And I'll say this too. Now, without spoiling much, in fact, without spoiling really anything, this is the first in the new main series, we'll call it the new 3, the original, most recent one, and this one, that does imply the supernatural aspect of Michael. How and why, we don't know, but it does imply it. And Laurie even says, like, you know, I used to think he's just flesh and blood. He's just flesh and blood, but no man can survive that fire. Except when you look at how he survived the fire, you realize, no, Laurie, it's actually very easy how a man could survive that fire. Now, don't get me wrong, it's possible he still could have died in there, but the way you actually see how he was surviving the fire before the firemen came and found him makes you realize, wow, Laurie, you actually fucked up hard on that design there. In fact, you actually, no, you know, I don't actually have to worry about spoiling it. It is actually in one of the trailers. So, yeah, the firemen come down, one crashes through the door, and apparently she has this like almost like a garage door, screen door thing, metal door, and he was hiding behind there, and there was no flames in there, which means he was perfectly isolated from the flames. And I'm like, wow, Laurie, you're an idiot. You spent all this time luring him down there. You'd think you would design the space for him to not have a way out of there, or to not have a way to be burned. Now, maybe she thought that wouldn't have the door wouldn't have survived, and eventually it would have burned him down. But and you know, it explains why you didn't see him. Remember when at the end of the previous film, when you see him, you know, looking up at them in the fire, and you know, then you cut back to the house again, and you see he's not there anymore. People were like, "Oh my god, he disappeared." Well, he clearly went in there to protect himself from the flames. It's simple as that. So yeah, that's on you, Laurie. I'm sorry, but. Look, the film isn't bad by any stretch. I like the film. All I even say is it's a good film. But there's enough problems in it for me to say it's not a great film. It's a good film, and without spoiling anything, we could see a sequel if they wanted to. But it's a good film, just not a great film, because the problems that are in this film that are normal slasher tropes really actually hinder it in this film because of what this film is about. Like, the actual plot of this film actually hurts the actual slasher trope, and the slasher tropes actually hurt the plot of this film. So I can only, if I don't give star ratings anymore, like, or ratings like 1 out of whatever. If in theory I were to, this one gets a solid 6.5, 7. But those issues really hurt it. They really hurt it from me. Like, they hurt it from being a great film. It's got a good ending, though, I think. Well, it's got an interesting ending, to say the least. And before I go, I will say I'm glad that Michael is unmasked actually a couple moments, several moments in the film, to be honest. And you see you don't actually ever see his face completely. You see glimpses here or there. You still never see his face, and I like the fact. And there's a couple of moments where the whole idea, and they do the whole, you know, listing of the cast, and I can't remember the name of the character playing Michael, but as the Shape, and that's what he is. He's the Shape. There's a couple of moments where you just see him as a shadow, which is really cool. A couple of nods to the other movies. There is a line, "That's the curse of Michael Myers." And there's and the masks these kids have, and the seniors like, there's this man playing hide and seek with us. They're from the Halloween Season of the Witch. So I dug on that too. Those are fun nods. Overall, not much to talk about. Otherwise, I saw a new Scream trailer. I mean, it's been up, but I didn't really watch it. But hey, I mean, it's all right. It's decent. There's not much else new I can talk about. So tomorrow I'm going to see The Last Duel. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. And thanks for watching. I'll see you folks later.